So, overview of London. Soho is a smaller section of London, and it's a great place to experience the culture of England. With thousands of unique restaurants and art galleries, it's a perfect place to experience true London. If you want to visit coffee shops and cool museums, Soho is the ideal center of the arts. Find your adventurous and artsy side and visit Soho, England.
So this is our itinerary. So day one will be our arrival day. We'll get on the plane. Well, we'll be on the plane. We'll arrive in Soho, and we'll just kind of get used to the feel of London and all the busy streets. And then day two is Covent Garden. Well, it's kind of a restaurant and kind of a museum and garden. We'll go and we'll look at all the cool, yeah. And then Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum is, well, the title says it. And so we're just gonna go there and look at all the cool items. And day four is a wandering day where you can just kind of do whatever you want, take a break from all the museums and fancy places, and you can stay inside or do whatever you want to. And then day five is the London West End. There are a bunch of tiny shops, and a lot of people, a lot of culture there. And then day six is Pier Rock, which is
Proof Rock is a pretty popular restaurant to visit.
And then day seven is Hollybush Garden, which is museum, restaurant, and garden, kind of all in one. And you can go and see places.
Okay. So our last part of our itinerary is the Charles Dickens Museum, which seems to be a really popular tourist attraction. So I think we're going to try that out. Day 9 is the British Museum, so another museum. This one kind of focuses more on the culture of England and
Its history.
Yeah, its history. Day 10 is Thames, which is the River Thames, and I thought that would be pretty cool. And day 11 is the Brunswick, which is another kind of shopping area. Day 12 is the National Portrait Museum, so that's all art and different. Yeah. Day 13 is the London Eye, which is pretty
Biggest
popular.
attraction.
Yeah, it's the huge Ferris wheel. And day 14 we'll be visiting another really popular restaurant called Duck and Waffle, and then we will leave. So.
All the plane.
Okay. So our prices for our airfare is about $2,000 for the flight there, and our hotel expense is $7,000 per person per night. So if you add that up, it comes up to about a total of $120,000.
Well, we are staying for 14 days, so we're kind of. This is our gear, but what's provided since you're going to be in the city is you don't really hike or camp. So basically all you need is a GPS and map. Required is, well, money because you're going to be buying things. Travel documents such as a passport and airline tickets. Well, clothing is kind of obvious. And an Oyster card, which is basically the subway money. It's kind of like a Visa card except for London.
Okay. So our recommended is warm clothes because it rains a lot and it's kind of cold in general. Umbrella and rain gear for the same reason. Bug spray, pillows and blankets, extra bags and accessories, and whatever else you need to bring.
This is why we should go to London, England. It's the perfect time of year, which would be autumn with all the pretty leaves and the cool air. It'd be super fun for one thing because of all the shops and all the different people you can meet. The hotels are really, really cool. We've got a really awesome indoor pool. We could go sightseeing and see the Big Ben, the London Eye, lots of different things. Our hotel has an amazing pool, as you stated, and Ada and I personally have wanted to go to London since at least third grade.
And then this is why the hotel is so expensive. Because it's a pretty.
This is the pool and sauna area.
That's the restaurant. That's
Bathroom.
That's what the generic bathroom looks like. And
here are a couple
these
of
are
rooms.
rooms, and then that's just the entrance. So So
it's really, really fancy. Here's extra information you might need to know. There are no safety concerns, seeing as it's the city. There's no visa needed. You'll be walking or riding a cab, or you could ride scooters, I guess. The currency is pounds. Speak English, no translator, but they do have really cool accents. We're going in fall, it's autumn. The flight is around 11 hours there and 11 hours back, and our cost is pretty high, but it's worth it.
okay, so
This is Gita.
so we have a couple of author slides here. So apparently Olivia says that I was a snake back in the 1700s, and I was turned human by an evil wizard.
Now she's a part-time tour guide.
Yeah. Okay. Olivia Gable was
Born in Minnesota.
raised by wolves. So she's really kind of a nature person. But not too long ago, she discovered that she loved guiding tours in bigger cities like Chicago and New York. So in conclusion, London, England is the perfect place to experience Europe's culture. Exploring cool museums and visiting awesome theaters will sure you'll have one of the best times of your life. We'll see you later in London, England.
And any questions?
Is the hotel in Soho?
It's really, really close to it, so you could probably walk.
So transportation, while you're there, you said you're gonna do, what's the plan for transportation while you're in London?
We'll probably mostly be walking since
Or you
everything
could
is kind of like
Rent a car
Yeah.
if you really wanted to.
everything's kind of in the same area, not too far apart.
It's all kind of gathered in one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we could do this entire trip with just walking, but if you really must, you can.
Rent a car or take a cab.
Yeah,
Don't they drive on the opposite side of the street?
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to think about that one.
How do you think this trip will appeal to the REI target audience or members of REI?
Well, it's sort of like when we were planning this trip, we wanted it to be a little less nature and hiking. We just kind of wanted it to be experiencing culture. So this will most likely appeal to people probably
18 to 25.
Yeah. Or
just
maybe
on
even
college,
older.
I mean, yeah. And it's kind of good for seeing cities, so you don't go to beaches or camping or hiking. It's just kind of to see a different culture of the city and all the different people that are really interesting.
There were quite a few days on your itinerary. You had one museum listed each day. How long do you anticipate people staying at a museum, and what would they do with the rest of their day?
Probably for about an hour and a half, and then with the rest of the day, you could just explore the city or look at other shops, or you could just stay inside and watch TV.
Right, it's a pretty big city, so there's a lot to do. You can shop. They have amazing world-famous theaters there, so that would be kind of fun to do. Yeah, but basically, if you don't want to go to a museum, or if you stay there a little longer than you intended, afterwards, or maybe even just instead, you can go and just explore.
And there are a lot of museums, so there's probably something to go with everyone's personality.
What do you feel is the most unique feature of your trip, of those 14 days?
Probably the London Eye
Yeah.
is the biggest thing.
It's pretty popular with tourists, and see, it's depicted right here. But yeah, it's definitely one of the more popular places